Hi everyone. Today in this video, I'm talking about what Edmonton's light rail ridership numbers could look like in a few years once the Valley Line West extension is up and running. With a massive investment of $2.7 billion into this project, what kind of ridership numbers would you consider to be a success? Projects of this caliber demand a healthy return on investment, but how will the city get there? Other places like Denver have made massive investments too, and their ridership has been disappointing to say the least. Today I'll discuss four key drivers which I believe are essential in getting a good return. And at the end of the video, I'll give you my daily ridership prediction. After you finish watching, drop a comment below and let me know what your prediction is too. Now, the first thing to know is that the city sends transit ridership numbers quarterly to the American Public Transportation Association and publishes data on their own website. But it's not an exact science, and they don't exactly know how many people are riding on a daily or weekly basis. Edmonton uses a proof of payment system without fare gates, so the city's ridership numbers blend train and bus boardings. The official stats are a best guess estimate using methods like surveys and polling, but it's not an exact count. I've talked about this before in other videos, but cities like Vancouver have seen positive improvements in the safety and rider satisfaction after installing fare gates. Revenue generation also increased, and they had a way to actually measure ridership accurately. It's amazing what happens when accountability is prioritized and people aren't given the option to cheat the system. With that in mind, let's look at the baseline for daily trips. According to the latest report for Q3 in 2025, Edmonton's trains averaged 95,500 boardings on an average weekday. This represents a 15.9% increase when compared to 1 year earlier. That works out to an estimated 29 million annual trips, which is moving in the right direction. While that may sound like a lot, it's important to know that train ridership hasn't yet recovered to pre-pandemic levels. In 2017, at its peak, ridership was estimated to be over 112,000 trips per average weekday. What we see today is more comparable with numbers from 2011. To better understand our growth potential, we need to also look at efficiency. A key metric is daily boardings per kilometer of track. It shows how much ridership you're squeezing out of your infrastructure. For Edmonton, that number is about 2,560 boardings per kilometer. This is quite low when compared to Calgary's C train, which sees roughly 4,660 daily boardings per kilometer. This tells us two things. One, we have clear room to grow our system's efficiency, and two, a new line can help move that needle. Let's start with the one driver that has the most potential, the neighborhood formerly known as Oliver. This neighborhood was recently renamed to WEM to win. This is one of Canada's densest neighborhoods outside Toronto and Vancouver. The last municipal census in 2019 pegged this neighborhood at over 18,000 residents packed into less than 2 square kilometers. With the city having grown a lot since then, it's easy to imagine there are even more living here today. Right now, if you live here and want the train, your only option is the Government Center station on the east side of the neighborhood. But look at the map for the Valley Line West. Four new stations at 112th Street, 116th Street, 120th Street, and 124th Street. This forms a tight border on the northern edge of this densely packed neighborhood. That's the most massive walkable ridership pool that's been underserved for decades in the entire city. Residents here will soon have four walkable stations right out their front doors. I think this factor alone will be a big trip generator. The second driver is a recent policy change. The Alberta government has mandated a full-time return to office order for its public servants starting in February 2026. Private sector companies have also announced the same. That's tens of thousands of guaranteed downtown commuters, and within a few years, those who live in the West End will have a direct, reliable line to their offices. These mandates will help rebuild the traditional 5-day commuter base that the pandemic eroded. The third driver is the safety and perception push. You've heard the stories, and the city knows it's a problem. That's why they're beefing up and transitioning away from private security guards. 30 more transit officers will be added by this coming summer, for a total of 126 dedicated to the line with more enforcement power. It's a direct attempt to solve the perception problem and win back discretionary riders, the people who could take transit but choose not to because they don't feel safe. This investment is crucial. You can build all the track you want, but if people don't feel secure using it, they won't. The officer rollout is a bet that perception can be changed with a visible, authoritative presence. The skeptics out there have some really valid points. The biggest hurdle is the safety perception lag. You can deploy 126 peace officers tomorrow, but for many people who've had a bad experience or heard stories, feeling safe again isn't instant. It's a rebuild of trust that takes consistent, visible improvement over months, maybe years. That perception is the single biggest barrier for winning back discretionary riders, and it won't flip overnight. I'm hopeful that by the time the Valley Line West opens, a whole lot more trust will be restored in the security measures. Now, let's take a look at the fourth driver, West Edmonton Mall. This isn't just a shopping center, it's a regional traffic generator. On an average day, it sees between 90,000 and 200,000 visitors. It employs over 24,000 people. The math is simple. Even a tiny mode shift here yields thousands of daily trips. Imagine capturing just 5% of those visitors or employees switching from car to train. That's a huge, reliable ridership base that doesn't exist anywhere else on the network. The mall will become a transit hub with direct bus transfers happening below the elevated station. This is a destination station that guarantees traffic in both directions all day. So we have density, a massive traffic magnet, a government mandate, and more safety measures. These are four concentrated, powerful drivers that don't rely on vague citywide growth. They are specific, measurable, and directly served by the Valley Line West. But before we do the final math, we have to address the very real reasons why this may not be enough. The phasing and process is a big challenge. We saw it years ago with the Metro line here locally. We see it now in Toronto with the Finch West Light Rail project too. New lines take time to reach full, reliable capacity. Timelines get pushed back, signal systems are adjusted, and people need to learn the new routes and connections. The whole process can be slow and frustrating. You don't open day one at maximum efficiency. There's a ramp-up period where growing pains can dampen the ridership potential. The return to office mandate helps, but it's not a silver bullet, as public and private sector workers return to office's personal safety rules the day they have to see positive changes before they swap their car keys for transit passes. So let's total everything up. We start with our solid base of 95,500 daily boardings. From there, I'll add conservatively the concentrated drivers, the largest neighborhood in the city, and West Edmonton Mall's pull, should reliably deliver at least 8,000 new daily trips. That's a modest capture rate from those massive pools. The Valley Line West itself, by connecting the West End to downtown and the broader network, will generate system growth and overlap. It will attract new riders and shift existing bus trips. A cautionary tale exists here, though, with the Valley Line Southeast. This line is only generating 9,300 daily trips 2 years after opening. This is a far cry from the initial projection that was pegged at over 30,000 daily trips before the line was built. I think a reasonable estimate for this new line and its network effect is an additional 12,000 average daily boardings. Finally, the combination of the return to office mandate, the safety investment paying off over time, and organic city growth adds another 4,500. Add it all up, and that lands us at 120,000 daily boardings within 1 year of opening. For me, there is no bigger problem to solve than safety. If the city can get this under control, then ridership will likely skyrocket, far exceeding pre-pandemic levels. Alright, that's it for this video. My prediction is 120,000 average daily boardings within 1 year of the Valley Line West opening. I sure hope I'm wrong, and I hope the number is a lot higher than that, but with the current ridership below 100,000 daily riders, the recovery has been slow. What do you think? What's your prediction? Leave your number in the comments below. Thanks for watching and take care.